to talk to me, damn it, or else I'm gonna throw you in the fire!
You stupid bitch, you filthy...
State of Fear. Welcome back to Flyover State of Fear. We got Brian and myself. How are you, Brian?
Hey, what's going on, brother?
Not much, dude. So in the mouth of madness, we are talking today.
Yeah, you know what? I agree.
A
We should just
legend.
get right into it.
No, we're gonna talk a little like things I could rant about before we get in, which no one's interested in. But before we start, we're covering this today to honor Sam Neill, who is a...
Yeah, we did we had another episode planned, but Sam Neill passed away. Legitimate Scream King, Sam Neill. One of his first big roles, The Omen, which we have covered on this show, Omen 3.
Yeah, I think he is a underrated Scream King in the sense of like...
Yeah. Well, Scream King's a rare thing anyway. A guy who has like multiple definitive horror entries in his that's just not a thing for a lot of actors.
No.
And you got guys now like Kyle Gallner who's starting to kind of get a reputation for it now. And I'm sure there's more we could, if we thought about it a little bit. But on his level, because after Jurassic Park, he was minted. That dude is a star.
Well, that's what
I wasn't really familiar with him. Jurassic Park broke him out to me. Obviously, I've gone back and I've watched Hunt for Red October and stuff. He's great in that. But to have him he had been I didn't know about Possession. I didn't know about.
I think Possession. It's more popular now because of the internet, but it's such a deep cut of a movie because it's also not a normal one to watch. You don't go.
No, that's true. That's true. But that's what I'm saying. I didn't know he had any kind of horror credentials. So to me, the choice to do this movie right after a hot on the heels when you're the biggest star in the world who just made the biggest movie in the world, hot off the heels of being the star Jurassic Park, to be hell yeah, I'll do John Carpenter's weird fucking Lovecraftian horror movie. That's real cool. He's just a cool dude.
Is this filmed simultaneously after Jurassic Park? Because it's both 94.
I think it comes out in 94, so probably right after. Because you got to imagine there was a long post-production on Jurassic Park, right?
Sure.
There's a lot of filming, but there's so much effects.
But it's going to be huge.
Yeah.
You make
so probably while the post-production stuff is happening is when he's filming this, and then he gets done filming this, then he has to probably go on the promotional tour for JP when it's coming out, and then this comes out.
Yeah,
but
dude,
he's such a cool guy, and I'm not, obviously he had a real fun social media presence. He back when social media was good and fun. And also I'll relay the one story that everybody was telling, but the thing about when he was in Event Horizon and he's supposed to be an Australian astronaut, and he had them design a new flag patch that was that took off the Union Jack and put in an Aboriginal symbol because
he's New Zealand.
Or New Zealand, yeah, exactly.
He's from New Zealand.
But he was big into Aboriginal rights before that was a thing. You know what I mean? He's
the man,
the king of New Zealand. Everybody loved the guy. He seemed like a genuinely great dude.
Well, that's what he was asked. I was also reading a little bit, and he did because he had cancer or a form of disease, I believe, that it was not it was known. So he was doing interviews of hey, at the end of my life, he was yeah, I just want to be remembered as kind.
Yeah.
That's all.
It seems that way. I didn't see anybody have an unkind word to say about the guy.
No, everyone. So it's cool, but it's so it is funny to think though how you're saying you didn't realize his Scream King or horror roots, and the few people I've talked to since he passed, new coworkers and this and that, they're just oh, so sad. One of my favorite movies of all time is Jurassic Park. I'm oh, same, but I had to throw in oh, but he had a slew of horror films, and they're all pretty fun. When we covered the last, what's the name of the Omen 3?
Oh yeah, it's oh shit, I can never remember because I always just call it the Omen 3.
The Last Conflict, I think.
Yeah, the final conflict, I think.
Because I remember, was that the one where we watched all? Yeah, we watched all the whole.
Yeah, we did all three.
series.
We covered like the trilogy. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
and I remember we got the
Because
last
I'm
one.
a sadist, and
And
I'm
I
like, no,
think
we can't just do one movie.
Well, that was before you were like on as a host. That
I
was
was
so
like
long ago.
that was like a guest. You
But it
were
was
doing me a
like-
favor, really.
But it was like fun to watch them, and I cannot tell you one thing about 2, but I remember 3 like completely because it was like, oh, this is a blast.
Yeah, yeah. I really like that, that whole trilogy. But yeah, Sam Neill, I mean, he's so great, as Damien, and yeah, had just a great career. Later in his career, did a great villain turn on the first season of Peaky Blinders. I didn't keep up all with that show all the way through.
Never got into it.
I definitely watched that first season, and he's so good in it as like a sleazy bad guy.
Yeah, he's good. He's good. Yeah, I was looking at his IMDb going, oh yeah, this and that. There's a lot of those little like, oh, you were in that? What's the one?
And Hunt for the Wilder People, which was like Taika Waititi's first movie.
That's a great
really
movie.
great. Is really great.
With our boy Julian Benson.
Oh man, I love Julian Dennison's fucking rules. Love that kid.
I'm going to him real quick, not Julian Denison, because there's something in Sam Neill's filmography that I was like,
was it a surprise or that you just forgot about?
I think just that I forgot about. But yeah, we lost a real one. We don't always honor our fallen horror comrades here.
Yeah, well, it's not always a thing where you immediately like, oh, we got to do a Sam Neill movie. You know what I mean? There's not everybody who dies immediately provokes an episode, but
you know what it was? It was in 2. It was in one movie which I own, and you've been telling me to watch for a long ass time. I still have yet. The Snow White horror movie.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, absolutely. He's the like the king in that.
Yeah,
Snow
completely. Like I own it because you were talking about it.
Oh, it's such a good little 90s,
ago.
like when they were. It's just such it's such a little kernel from that time. Is so fun.
I talk about it in the sense of it's a cover that scared me in the video store because I was of the age where you walk down a horror section, you're like,
oh man, you have to tell me. I used to live when your local grocery store had the video aisle, and oh man, I loved it.
Every child.
Also, I saw people talking about, and I don't know if you remember it, but do you remember the TV? He did the TV movie Merlin, where he was Merlin, like a young.
No.
Oh man, it was like one of those big like 2-night or whatever where they would do, and it was like it was like back when on ABC or NBC, it was like a huge event. It was really fucking. It was kind of crazy, and I hadn't thought about that shit in years, and somebody was like, "Shout out to Merlin." I was like, "Oh, that's tight.
That'd be fun to revisit."
Oh, absolutely. I bet it's a blast, and I love, like I said, I love what looked like what to them was a big budget at the time, and then looking back on it and be like, "Wow, they were really just doing their best here."
Dude, that was a big budget, and this is the best.
Oh, absolutely! I guarantee they pumped mad money into that.
Practical, but back when that's like an ugly word, like it's practical.
Yeah. Oh, I bet there's some like absolutely atrocious CGI in it. I'm sure. I'm picturing a lot of morphing effects.
Yeah, magic.
Oh yeah.
I was real. It was a real bummer. I'm glad you wanted to.
It hit me harder than I expected. Like, I think because just a couple months ago he had posted that he was like getting better and he was going to be getting back to work, and then I don't know if it was a downturn or if this was a separate issue or what happened. But either way, regardless the loss, I was like, oh man, I didn't expect, and immediately I was like, either In the Mouth of Madness or Event Horizon would probably be choices for us to do. I would love to cover Possession, but Possession feels like a movie that you got to get a woman on the episode too.
I definitely think you need to get a woman on it, and it'd be a good conversation.
And I think we're woke enough to acknowledge that.
I think some might be too woke to say like, "What, you guys are two men, can't talk." Like we might. It's a slippery slope there, Brian.
Slippery slope. Yeah, you can't be too woke. You can now. All right, well, let's talk about your news before we get back into the Mouth of Madness. Let's talk about you had some news tidbits. Yes?
Yeah, there's no movies when it's the middle of the summer. We were talking, and like we're not.
I saw Evil Dead Burn. We can talk about that.
Oh You did? How was it? I didn't even check your letterbox. How was it? Fun,
Oh, it was
gnarly?
good. It was real good. I liked it a lot actually.
I've been checked out of it.
These Evil Dead movies, they're feeling, they feel a little similar. This one had a little more lore in it that was kind of new, so that was fun,
I know the big twist because the internet,
Of
or
course.
big
Yeah.
surprise
Yeah.
or whatever, but
But but I didn't even, that's an end credit thing, and you know what? I didn't even stay for it. So
I just saw
there you
I
go. I just
literally
enjoyed the movie on its own.
I guessed it because I saw the actress make a TikTok and I was like, "Oh, this is
Yeah, that makes sense.
I know it's okay."
I
No, I want to see
no, I
it.
think that these are great little showcases for new horror directors. It's like a fun way for like a new horror director to get a big movie under their belt, and that's kind of
Well,
how it's been used recently, and I think that's
well, I love
working
that.
great. And there's some really this one had some good, like, some good camera stuff and some good, some visuals that were excellent. And that's, and these, it kept with the incredibly mean spirit of this new trilogy of Evil Dead
Oh,
movies, which
this
I think
yeah,
is great.
these are just brutal and mean, and I do find the discourse of the old Evil Dead fans though trying to be like, "Oh no, ours. What do you think? These old ones were hard and mean." And like, no, 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 they were all pretty silly.
Yeah, even the original Evil Dead, which is like considered the most horror of that original trilogy,
There's,
is, I mean, they were on
there's,
a, mostly it's the uncomfortable tree rape that I don't
yeah,
that think gets
that's
me. It's
the
not really the horror.
no. I agree. So that discourse has been kind of funny to watch. I'm just like, oh, the false memories from everyone all around are just,
Yeah. Well,
um,
yeah, and people are just protective of their franchises. They love them.
well, and then speaking of that is where the only news I wanted to go in is, so they finally announced they're going to remake a new Nightmare on Elm Street again. Um, and I believe they're setting it up to be like within the world of the Nightmare movies, like, or
Mhm.
like they're going to do, I hope they don't go like the, you know,
Like a
uh,
straight up remake again.
yeah, it's weird. It's a weird property in that sense. It's hard about being protective of it. It's like you can't be because I do want more Nightmare in the world.
Yeah.
So I'm open to a remake, like or any,
Yeah.
a new
Yeah, I saw
Dream Demon.
somebody, like, some speculation that maybe it would be like a Freddy-less, like, it would still have the nightmare concept, but there wouldn't be like a person at the center of it.
I mean, they did. So the problem with that is not problem because it's all about how you go about it. Is I don't want to see them do the Halloween 2018 where it's like here's Nancy back again. She had hers. It's called New Nightmare.
Yeah. And it rips.
And it's great, and we don't think we need to touch it. And honestly, I don't think Heather Langenkamp would want to like
Well,
truly
also, I
do
feel
that.
like by the time now we've had Scary Movie parodying that trope, so I feel like it's time to lay that one down.
So
Honestly, the 2022 Texas Chainsaw movie did the best parody of that,
oh, that was so funny.
whether it was accidental or not, where they brought her back and then she got immediately murdered.
I think that was on purpose to make
I
fun
hope
of it.
it would have to be, right? But I mean, it
Yeah,
was so funny.
because they
Uh,
like it's not even
only
the
good
same
thing, there's like
actress.
two good things about that whole movie, and that was one of them.
Yeah, that was extremely funny. It almost it doesn't save that movie, but it almost saves the movie to be like they did something.
They
Um,
had an idea at least.
but no, I think you recast Freddy. Yes, I agree with the like, don't make him like he was a victim this whole time. That's what you did with the 2010 movie.
Yeah.
I don't think you do a stunt casting, right? Of like
No,
generally I think
hopefully they'd be smart enough. I mean, honestly, at the time, Jackie Earl Haley seemed like brilliant casting.
it was brilliant casting. It
It
wasn't even
seemed
stunt
like a
casting.
perfect match. It seemed like a can't miss. So,
It was the
but
makeup.
I think the best idea is just to use an unknown. Then
Oh no,
you're not
that's
distracted by it at all.
you go with an unknown, you don't do a all the suggestions other than a few, like Toby Kebbell or someone,
Yeah.
are all too old. No one's gonna commit to like, Jim Carrey's being floated around. All right, good luck. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Uh
60-year-old Jim Carrey is not gonna wanna start
yeah,
being Freddy Krueger
the
now.
guy who's already been like, yeah, I'm retired, other than showing up for 4 days to play Dr. Robotnik.
Yeah, where they put me in funny makeup and I dance around and they build a movie around me.
Yeah. So trash casting, Johnny Depp can't touch it. No one's gonna touch him.
Yeah.
Um
It does. You know, Timothy Chalamet's too big now, and he did Wonka, but he wouldn't. Now he's like, I would say he's kind of past that. You know, he's not
Yeah.
gonna do that again.
No, that's more unique to me of like getting that and like, oh, okay. Nah, he's gunning for his Oscar. He's not. He
Yeah,
has
yeah,
enough
he's not.
IPs.
He's not
But
doing franchises anymore. No, I mean, well,
especially
dude, but he's gonna fish
no,
up dude.
but I think the Nightmare, I think you do that. I think you give it to one of these young directors who's like, I have a talent. I'm going to use practical as much as we're allowed to. But actual like story and all that. If you do want to do the like in the world of, you know, I think you just follow the template of that Candyman remake, where it's like you almost just go on with like, here's this urban legend in a town of Springwood.
Yeah, and you
And
keep it kind of like you sprinkle a little bit of Freddy in there, but you don't talk about him a
mhm,
lot. You don't focus on him a lot. You
and you know,
know,
he has
and
several
you have the deaths are, you know, dream related in kind of a Final Destination-y way where you're kind of more of like it's more of like a specter or a phantom, you know, kind of,
yeah,
you
I
know, you're
think you do
falling in
that.
and out of your dreams and
I
and it's dangerous in there, but there's not like a person chasing you.
I think you still develop, you know, remake the horror icon in a way.
Yeah.
Uh and I don't know. I'm excited to see what goes on with it. I It's neat because it is something that like, you know, I mean, other like I have my playing cards here and Freddy everywhere. Like
Yeah, sure.
it it's something that needs to be done to keep your franchise alive. You can't just keep
Yeah.
spinning it out. But I know
Right,
I don't.
if that's the thing that you want. If what you want is your franchise to continue, then you have to, you know, but if you're fine with just being like, "It's these movies and they're done and that's
I mean,
it,"
that I mean, I'm
but
fine with
obviously
it, but
that's not what they wanna do.
I don't
The
want to
other
see
thing was you said you didn't see the trailer, but, there was
Crystal
a
Lake.
yeah, Camp Crystal Lake coming to Peacock, a show. Obviously, because the rights, they can't really use Jason. This is gonna be a Pamela Voorhees focused show, I
That's
believe.
fun. I like Linda Cardellini. I think
Linda
she's gonna
Cardellini's
know.
great casting on that.
I'm curious just because it's like why I'm like half foot one in, half foot out of this one in particular is never been my big franchise, you know, never been for
Right,
me.
you're
Uh
documented. We
and,
know this is not your
and I mean not
favorite.
for me. I enjoy them, but and it's A24 production. Are we gonna go
Mhm.
to like it's a drama now? It's a serious drama with
Well,
some
and also
kills.
when you have, you know, one of our recent favorites, In a Violent Nature, kinda did put a stamp on the, like, here's Jason art house. Like, here's how you
Like
do an art house version of Jason Voorhees.
because I
Like,
think because I think Linda Cardellini can very easily go in a I mean this in a good way, like big and do like a
oh,
not
yeah.
camp, like not camp, no pun intended, but like know how to play that character because it almost sounds like they're just gonna be doing another version of Bates Motel, which I know people really liked, right?
Yeah,
Where it was
yeah, I
like
watched the first. I never finished it, but I watched quite a few
it
bit
was
of
like
that. It was
Norman
pretty
and his
good.
mother and like was it
Yeah.
Vera Farmiga
Yeah, Vera Farmiga and,
stole the
what's
show
his name? The little kid from Willy Wonka.
because she's Vera Farmiga. She's gonna steal the show and everything.
Yeah.
So I could see it being like more like
She
that,
was all I mean,
probably.
she was even good in Many Saints in Newark, which is the worst piece
Oh
of
my god, I
crap I've ever
forgot.
seen.
I own it because I have to.
Well, you have to. Yeah, it's just part of I didn't buy it, but I get why you would.
Oh, that was COVID dollars going to like Walmart or Target being like, boop, boop, boop.
Yeah.
Whatever. Money doesn't
Yeah.
mean things. Like,
Money
like
is insane.
I bought the 4K of like the Matrix quadrilogy. Now that I have a problem with that, but like at a price that because I bought them together. That's one reason why I'm remembering this.
Right.
That I'm like, oh, Joseph, what are you doing? Wait 3 months, and none of these are to be bought at the
Yeah, you
release
paid the
price.
premium when you didn't have to, but yeah, you were
Yeah,
flush at
yeah.
the time, and also,
Many
you know,
say,
we were all fighting off that COVID depression, you know?
yeah, Many Saints and Matrix were both those purchases. I will not forget that.
That's
Both
fun.
Warner
That's fun.
Brothers. But yeah, dude. So I don't know. I'll watch Crystal Lake though. I like said
Oh yeah, absolutely.
fan of all that. Just not like it's not my Freddy. It's not like my
No,
Freddy fan.
but
We're
at the
like
same
Child's Play.
time, it's just you acknowledge the classics. I mean, we all know,
Yeah,
you know, it's one of the big
but
franchises, and if they're gonna finally do again, it's similar to what we're talking about with Nightmare. If we're finally gonna resurrect it, we got to if we want more, we have to feed it. We have to feed the baby
you
bird if we want it to
do.
grow.
I think more people are understanding that today, at least.
Yeah.
But yeah, Nightmare is the one that I'm sure we'll talk about it in the next couple of years over the course of it. But like the notes of it are like casted unknown. Don't spend time with being like he's a pedophile, but he was burned
Right. Don't
alive.
focus so much on him as a person. Yeah.
Like let just me be scared of the entity. Tell another good slasher story. Fuck you know. Assumingly you're going with the final girl again, that's fine. You know, whatever. Do your thing. I guess my final thought on it is we'll have more to say when they announce their director and like creative team behind it, because I think that's gonna matter a lot.
Definitely, yeah.
Like the Obsession kid, Curry Barker, is doing a new Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but it's like
right. I knew he had
cool.
gotten attached to something. I couldn't remember what.
It's like cool. Let's see what you got. It's like I think Zach Krieger's attached to one of these.
Yeah, well, he's got Resident Evil coming out too.
Yeah,
Zach Krieger does.
Yeah, I saw what's one of the whitest kids you know guys. What's his name? The one who does a podcast. Called him up to tease him about it. I was like, so could you make a good video game movie now? And like Zach Krieger was like, I can't call that for sure. We'll see what happens.
Listen, I don't want to brag, but
no, I've confidence in that movie in the sense that like I think he's gonna be what he's saying. It's gonna feel like the video game.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's fine. All right, we ready to talk about the movie?
Let's do it.
Movie.
I don't have a pen on me, but hold on. Oh, let's talk about the movie. So, as said noted in the beginning of the episode, we were talking in the mouth of madness. I thought I owned this movie, but it was the other movie in this fake trilogy called The Prince of Darkness, and I've never seen it, so I was loving every minute of it.
Real quick, right at the top, I want to talk because you did a thing there. You said into the mouth of madness, and it's in the mouth of madness. But I was just gonna say I have one of my notes here is, man, I'm bad with long titles. Like, if your title has like 4 or 5 words, you're starting to lose me. You need to punch it up. Like, I have the hardest time with titles that are like phrases, like One Battle After Another. It took me I saw that trailer like a dozen times, and I could not remember the fucking name. It's like once we get past 3, 4 words, I'm like, this is too wordy. I need it punchier. Now, that being said, I do think In the Mouth of Madness is a cool name and very good.
Yeah, I want to say into, but I know it's not. It's In the Mouth of Madness. But
I didn't mean to call you out, but I did have a note about how long titles fuck me up, and I was like,
I never knew this.
Perfect segue.
I've never known a long time we talked. I've never known this about you. So like I saw the TV glow, or
we did our episode on Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Chitty Bang Bang. Bed knobs and broomsticks.
Well, and it's not even more like ones that are like phrases, like, you know what I mean? Like you're talking, like I saw TV glow is a better example, you know, ones that are like weird little sentences. I always
tell like don't tell mom the babysitter's dead.
Yeah, stuff like that. Exactly.
Yeah.
Once it becomes a little phrase, I have a harder time remembering it.
You can't fit it on a marquee.
Yeah, exactly. My brain's a marquee, and I need like snappy, punchy. If I was a producer, that would always be my thing. I'd be like, change the name, kid. Your name's too long.
It reminds me of the running bit in Parks and Recreation of any headline Leslie Knope would come up with, like, you know, for the newspaper. She'd be like local town hero saves thing to help good kid, and like
it's always like exceedingly long.
You're going to be like, no, it's okay, yeah, maybe work on the title.
Yeah, punch it up a little bit, guys.
Well, so yeah, I really like. If you asked me have you seen, like, yeah, I own it, I've seen this movie, like, that just,
Yeah.
nope. I was thinking of Prince of Darkness.
So you actually, this is a real legit first time watch for you.
Yes, I know,
Oh,
like,
that's great.
some of the
That's so cool.
iconography, like,
Right. There's some we'll talk about as we go through because there's definitely some scenes that like have just made it into into pop culture, even
so
though
I
this movie was
was
not a hit at the time.
I mean, I could see that, like, but I was surprised, and, like, my first note was truly just, like, when the movie starts going, I go, "Oh." I mean, it's complimentary, I've used this so much time on this podcast, but, like, "Oh, okay, I'm watching a Tales from the Crypt episode."
Yeah.
Like a like a
Yeah.
like a B story Tales from the Crypt episode about an insurance agent who has to investigate something going on. The only thing that's different is that the lead character isn't sleazy like a episode of Tales of the Crypt would be.
He's a little sleazy because Sam Neill plays was it John Trent,
Yes.
who is an insurance investigator. And he's not necessarily sleazy, but he's like cynical. You know what I mean? He's real kind of like he doesn't take any shit and he doesn't believe and he kind of like takes everything with a grain of salt and is kind of always looking for the scam, looking for the who's on the hustle.
It really
So
reminded
I didn't want to
me.
say not sleazy, but just a little sleazy.
No, but he's a shade away, so I'm looking for something. He's a shade away from a Tales from the Crypt, like, lead character.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
this
a guy in the lead of Tales from the Crypt episode is a little worse than this guy because the episodes are shorter. You got to get across, like you don't have the time that you can take with Sam Neill, like you can
but
in this movie.
this, that was, like, intro vibes, and then there's more things I wanna compare this to, but I'll wait.
Yeah, no,
Sorry.
that's fine. We can talk a little bit up top here too. You said about the Apocalypse trilogy, which is Prince of Darkness, loosely Prince of Darkness, In the Mouth of Madness, and The Thing. Out of that, I would say this is probably the second best movie. I would
Yeah,
put
this
Prince of
is
Darkness at
better.
the bottom.
I think this is better than
Um,
Prince Darkness, and
yeah,
obviously the
I
thing's
don't
the
hate
thing.
Prince of Darkness or anything, but as far as like it goes, this is probably in my top 5 John Carpenter pretty easily. It slots in like
John Carpenter's catalog is so lopsided, actually, I think when you start,
yeah.
like, looking at it.
Like you say top 5, but then you're like, does he have more than 5 good movies?
That's right, 'cause I think I talked about someone, like, not too long ago, and I was like, "Wait a minute. No, like, don't tell me you like Ghost Tomorrow, that movie's ass."
No.
Great name,
No,
talking
he
about a
has 6
great
good
name.
movies, so making a top 5 is fine because he has 6
But
good movies.
yeah, but, Christine, were you 12, or have you
Yeah.
watched it recently? Because it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, it is. Speaking of Christine, I did wanna bring up because obviously there's a lot of Stephen King kind of vibes in
Mhm.
Sutter Kane, and do you think there's any validity to the idea that some people put forward that this is a little bit of a dig at Stephen King, that there's like some animosity between them of where because of, he made Christine and then of Stephen King famously hated everything back then. So every movie that came out, he shat upon it,
Um,
about, so I'm sure he's had something to say about Christine. And I just know
knowing
some people have speculated.
well, I mean, knowing what we know about John Carpenter,
Exactly.
yes,
That's kind of what
because
I was thinking too.
he's such a curmudgeon.
Yeah. But also, even if you were like
Charming.
Sutter even if you were like Sutter Kane is an analog to Stephen King, he's still not like he's still kinda treated with respect. I wouldn't say this was like you would never read this as like a dig at Stephen King. I think it's just he's just kinda referencing him because
They
he's
even talk
culturally
about Stephen
relevant here, like,
they even
because
talk
he's
about
the
Stephen King.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Um,
I mean, it's
it's
what,
I don't know, it's just
1990.
another thing I wanted to just touch on real quick because it is a part of, like, the kind of background of this movie that people have talked about.
Yeah, it's a good question. I definitely, I mean, your immediate thing, especially when they start talking New England and horror writer, it's like, I literally thought, "Oh, this is supposed to be Stephen King," and then I was amused, not I wouldn't say surprised, amused when they do have the scene at the publishing house of, like, Yes, he blows Stephen King out of the water.
Yeah, I
You
think
know,
that's kind of more of like that's probably that line specifically is probably
like
just supposed to be the big joke of it, you
I'm
know?
like, okay, we're acknowledging Stephen King exists in this world, which is already more
Because even
than
the cover of Sutter Kane books look like Stephen King books, you know,
yeah.
like
It's
the typeface and everything, the fonts and everything, they look like very much Stephen
well,
King
one of the
books.
letterbox reviews I saw today. Speaking of just like John Carpenter kind of being a curmudgeon,
Mhm.
was this it's no spoiler or anything in it. It was a woman going writing be like, it's one of my favorite movies. I actually told John Carpenter when I was like writing, she was like, I was writing a book, like a horror book or something, and interviewed him, and she said, oh, you're in the Mouth of Madness is one of my favorite movies, and he just said, don't kiss my ass. Like he clearly knows the answers. If someone was like Starman, I love Starman, I'm sure he's like, get the fuck out of here. No, it's
Get out of
not.
my face, you liar.
You know what? I like
Um,
The Ward. You found
yeah,
Sydney Sweeney.
bring back the ward. Um, no,
Uh,
so I like I said, I think this is really top 5. I thought kind of in my mind this was a written directed, but it's not. It was written, and this is wild. When I found this out, I was like, this fucked me up. So I was looking at this was written by Mike DeLuca, and Mike DeLuca is the head of MGM Studios and has
oh.
been for a long time. He only had 3 writing credits, all right?
Mhm.
On his he did write some TV as of the 3 film writing credits. This, Freddy's Dead, and The Lawnmower Man.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
this is a good movie.
So it's wild. So he's 1 for 3. He got a good one in there. Good for him, you
Phrase
know?
that's rough.
Yeah, Freddy's Dead is very
Lawnmower
rough,
Man
and Lawnmower
was
Man is
one of the
damn near unwatchable. But it's
I
funny
we
that also Lawnmower Man is like a bastardized Stephen King story so much so that he had forced him to take his name off of it, and
it's
then,
a
like,
crazy like AI
this also has Stephen King elements to it, so
it's a
there's just
crazy
another.
virtual reality story. Now
Yeah.
the question is how many Stephen King movies, if any, did MGM produce?
Ooh, that's a great question. And did Mike DeLuca produce specifically? Because he was a big time producer, like before he
Um,
became the head of MGM, I think.
let's see. Let's see.
Well, because like Castle Rock and who who else put out Touchstone? I'm trying to think of who put out Stephen King movies.
Let's see. I got a pretty quick eye while we talk about this to, something
Well, while
pops
you're
up.
looking that up, I'll just start off with um we have one of those wraparound deals. This is one of those movies that starts with the end or like near the
Mhm.
end, and then we jump back. So we see Sam Neill, John Trent being dragged into an asylum. The exterior of the asylum is a very famous, I think like a water treatment facility or something in Canada. I there's a special feature on the Blu-ray about it, but I didn't get a chance to rewatch it. Um, but it's a beautiful building, very cool looking. I think it appears in the movie Strange Brew also. Um,
Oh, okay.
and but anyways, we see him getting drug in. Um, we don't know why, of course, but he gets thrown into a padded cell. Right off the bat, we get
But
a quick. Ooh, ooh,
you do get
John Glover.
a John Glover, Lionel Luther himself, who is always just a
Oh
delight.
man, I mean, I can't like you can't even. John Glover's just in so much shit. Gremlins 2, Scrooged, excuse me.
Sorry.
Batman Forever or Batman and Robin, excuse me. He's just in so much shit. And obviously Lionel
He's
Luther.
Yeah, I watched Smallville last, and I was like, ooh,
Yeah.
because he's kind of like when I was watching Smallville, he was asked, he was like, do you ever want to play someone? They're like, do you ever want to play someone nice? And he was just kind of like, you have the voice, you have a face, you have a gift, you can do it. And he's like a lovely man in real life. The other credit I noticed, and that's what I was grabbing earlier, is nothing we normally ever compose. The composer's name, the music composer's name, really stood out to me as a child of the '90s.
Oh, okay.
Jim Lang. It is. And I made sure he didn't do many movies to. It is the Hey Arnold, Hey Arnold music composer.
That's
Who
amazing.
anyone who's a fan of Hey Arnold nose.
This
and
movie
had
does have a little bit of kind of a well, first of all, it's got some great
the
metal. Like it
jazz.
begins and ends with like some real heavy metal. There's definitely some like
Yeah.
so that's interesting. That's real
So
cool.
I was like, oh, Jim Lang was that? I wonder if it's because like a those short names. Or it was like this might not be him, and then I went and it was just like cartoons. I don't know, like that jazz. It was like jazz
Yeah.
chill music in Harold, which was
Yeah.
so unique. And to this day, it's the album.
Yeah, it's almost like scat, like bop, bop,
Yeah,
like yeah.
it's nice. So to see him, and it was like, oh, that's me. And I didn't really pour fully through, but the highlights were In the Mouth of Madness, and then
And then all
children's
cartoons.
cartoons. Yeah.
That's great. You love to see it though. That's kind of rad.
So I wanted to read it early on because so I'll move on. We're starting off. You're talking about but yeah, when he starts telling the story that like of the events of where we end up in the padded cell. Go on.
Oh no. Well, yeah, he's in this pad cell, and David Warner shows up, which is great. Always great to see him. He wants to talk to John Trent about what he's seen, and we do have a great little moment where John Glover's like, "Is he one of them? Is it getting bad out there?" And like that's a hint to like what we're gonna find out later about what's going on. But basically, like Sutter Kane readers are going insane, and the world is kind of like coming apart. And we're also seeing a lot of thunderstorming. Like it's constantly lightning and thunder out. And they did. John Carpenter knows his bread and butter. He definitely gets a good like scare sequence in here too. He knows that like the first act of his movie doesn't have a lot of scares in it, so he gets like a
Oh,
little creepy sequence when Samuel first gets thrown in the cell. There's like
behind
a guy in
him.
there behind him, and then the smashing through the glass and everything. It works very effective.
It worked on me. It worked on me for sure. That's actually why I didn't. I know we watch so much horror do this. I was able to put it on pretty late last night, but I was like, I don't actually know what this like fully is.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm gonna save it for the
I don't
morning.
want to get
Just
too like energized. You know what I mean? Not
yeah,
that I'm gonna
right.
get too scared, but I might just get too like hyped and worked up. Like
That's sometimes happens with
yeah,
like
absolutely,
something really.
absolutely. I
So I
watched a
literally,
movie last night called The Furious, and boy, did it get me hyped.
Mhm. So I literally woke up at you texted about Furious. I'm like, Brian, I didn't know you were part of the Fast and the Furious clan, but no, it's a bit. But welcome, my friend.
Welcome in.
No,
Well, finally.
I woke up at 7 a.m. this morning and hit play because I was like, great hour and a half. I don't start work till 9.
Yeah, perfect.
And got it out, took my notes, did
Does
this.
I'll ask you this because I've always thought this about this movie. Does this feel like an oddly long hour and a half? Like, is it just that the movie has so much in it that it just
Okay.
is so packed? Because I was thinking, I was like, in my mind, this
It's
always
90
felt a little longer than 90 minutes, but it's a pretty straight up like 97, maybe. Like,
It's 95, if I'm not
okay,
mistaken.
yeah. And
So
which is great. That's tight. That's our sweet spot.
it's
But
a tight movie.
you rarely have a vibe where a movie feels longer than it is, I guess.
So
And not
in
in
a
a bad I'm not trying to say negatively.
no,
Maybe
I
it's
know
just
what you
so tightly
mean.
packed, so
I think let me before I say so this is just like the last one where my comparison was I think it's okay, it's the same exact time. All right. So this movie, when we get to the meat, like I thought it moved really, really well. And then as soon as we got sort of into the town investigation standpoint with him and the editor, what's her, with Linda.
Styles, yeah.
Yeah, Linda. When they were there, that's where there was like not a drag, because that's when most, but that is where you felt like length. And it has
Yeah.
a lot similar feeling, why I would have just looked up to Halloween 3 structure of that, of like we're going to a town, we're gonna see that town's weird, not the same, it's not exact
Oh, no,
same,
yeah, I know,
but they're
actually, I think you're onto something for sure there. I think you're right.
but the John
And
Carpenter elements too.
in the same way, there's a little bit of a sag in the middle of Halloween 3.
Mhm.
But that's the thing though, like, I don't feel
It's
a
not
sag is the
sagging.
wrong word for this one.
No, it
But I
sags
just
in
feel
Halloween
like
3.
somehow it's like somehow the events make it feel longer, and maybe it's because there's some repetition. It's like that Groundhog Day thing where you're having some repetition and that kind of stretches. Either way, I don't know. I just thought it was weird when I looked this up to be like, I kind of was prepping to watch it thinking like, oh, I'm probably gonna need an hour 45 or maybe a full 2 hours for this one. And no, 90 minutes. Good to go.
I mean, I think Carpenter also, like, my memory of his movies are correct. You know, we were just talking about his filmography.
Yeah.
They're all like, there's not really any bloated Carpenter movie that I could think of.
No. Yeah, like
Or like classic one, I should say. Because you
no,
know
like
what
yeah,
felt,
maybe Escape from New York. It has a little bit of drag in it.
you know
But
what
it's
was,
so cool and atmospheric and like
you know what was
everything about it, you know.
abysmal
Mm.
of his that did feel long? And I watched it recently because I'm a House Grenade fan. John Carpenter's Ghosts of Mars, which I know is like a plague
Oh, yeah.
disaster movie, but like that movie's like barely 90 minutes. And I remember it feeling like 2.5 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe. Speaking of Sam Neill, and we didn't talk about it, but he's in another Carpenter movie, which is in the Invisible Man, Memoirs of an Invisible Man with Chevy Chase. And there
I'm
was
about
just
to
a
see
people
it.
were I think I saw it around the time it came out, but I haven't seen it. But there was a great just little clip somebody was showing of Sam Neill with basically like a gun taped to his head, pretending to be held by an invisible, you know what I mean? And pretending to be like held. It was really great. Just some great physical acting from Sam Neill. I'd forgot about that.
He's so good. I mean, this has to be one of his like low-key best performances.
Well, and I'll tell you what, it's one of those things we talked about possession, and but it's like what Sam Neill does kind of underrated did best was like unravel, because he seemed like a guy who always had his shit together and he's kind of buttoned up, and then slowly he would come apart, and like the sweatier and wider eyed he gets, the better he gets. He's just so, but at the beginning we talked about, he's John Trent buttoned up. We're into our flashback now, and yeah, he's an insurance investigator, and basically he gets hired by Charlton Heston in a terrible toupee to look for a writer who's gone missing, Sutter Kane. Can we talk a little bit about? I know this has been we're derailed all over the place here, but I have to talk about how insane it is that Charlton Heston has such a bad toupee in this movie. It's so bad that it says to me that he didn't allow a hair and makeup person to touch it. Like a real wig put on by a professional wouldn't look this bad. He
Okay,
wore
but
a toupee on set and acted like it was real, and because he was Charlton Heston, nobody challenged him, and
I
now
was
he's
gonna say,
in the movie looking like he's wearing a fucking beret.
are you gonna say no to Charlton Heston?
I would be like, if you want to be in my movie, you sit in my goddamn hair and makeup chair. No, I
Yeah,
know he was a big deal and everybody. I wouldn't have cared about having
no,
Charlton
his
Heston
two,
in my movie. If I
his
was John Carpenter, I'd have been like, I don't give a fuck. Get me, you know who I want in this role instead of Charlton Heston? Bob Gunton. You know who that is? That's
no,
that's the warden from Shawshank Redemption. That's
I
who
can
I
see
want
it.
in that role. That's
I
who
can
I
see it.
want there.
I mean, his toupee was just like the fucking grandfather in Christmas Vacation.
You can see his real hair kind of like wisping out from under it and stuff. Like
I mean,
I work in a profession where I am around old people all the time. And so I am like so adept at seeing toupees and at seeing men who dye their own hair at home. Like these are two things that like I can pick out from a mile away.
no, he definitely, uh, yeah,
The thing is, it's
he
just
showed
like
up on set.
right. That's my thing. It's like he showed up on set and acted like it was real, and everybody else had to act like it was real too, and no hair person was allowed to
Well,
touch it, and
but
that's
the
fucked
I,
up.
but the
A hair
irony of
person could have put a better wig on him. Just let them do it.
Charlton, let's fix it a little bit.
Yeah, let
No,
them
you
do
know
it.
who
Let
I
them glue
am?
your edges down and shit.
I was in the Ten Commandments.
Yeah, goddamn.
Because it's also this
He
is
was
John
doing
Carpenter.
Charlton Heston was doing this a lot around this time, was popping in on things because he's in he does this in Tombstone too, where he's in like one or two scenes.
Well, the Charlton Heston, not Charlton Heston, John Carpenter also is,
Excuse me.
a veteran director at this point. It's not like when you watch the Island of Dr. Moreau documentary and all of that, and they're like, I don't know, fucking what's his name?
Dude's getting fired and pushed
The
around and
director
like,
couldn't do anything, and
yeah.
why am I blanking on The Godfather?
Oh, Brando, yeah, yeah.
Brando showed up and he said, "I want to paint my face white today and put a
Well,
bucket on
both
my
Brando and Val Kilmer are both going crazy, and no one can control them.
yeah."
And then they bring in John Frankenheimer to finish that movie, and he like kicked everybody's whole ass.
Early, early, early Flyover stayed a film movie,
Yeah, I remember because that was one of the times that was where I was cementing my reputation as someone who would pick a movie and give you homework to watch with your movie.
and we did get a homework.
Yep.
And the homework was better than the movie.
Absolutely, it was. So let's get back. Speaking of good
Yeah.
movies, let's get back to this
So
one.
let's run through this so we don't overbloat the episode. Also,
Oh man, there's so much to talk about. So yeah, they hire Sam Neill. But actually, even before he has the meeting, we're skipping over the one of the more iconic scenes, which is where he gets attacked in the diner by the guy with the axe. And my big note this time watching it was how literally in the exact moment Sam Neill hears the name Sutter Kane the first time is when the guy puts the axe through the window. And I thought that was just such a cool little note for that
yeah.
movie for the movie to do, you know.
And at that time, we don't know it's all connected to him.
Yeah, oh, of course not. We're just like,
And
but that's the thing. It's like even before he has the meeting where he gets the job, it's like starting to seep in on him. It's already
But-
closing in.
but it does have a feeling in the sense too when that happens. Also, is he's the only one. Is what my note was in his first time watch. Did not get out of the way. Did not move. He just stayed in his seat, almost like he was buckled in.
Yeah, yeah.
Like he was
Yeah,
ready
and
to
that-
take
and
an
that-
axe to the face.
And that speaks to what we get to finding out because you've already alluded to the fact that we're kind of in a never-ending story situation here. You know,
Yeah.
he ends up being part of the world. So he gets the job. He thinks it's a publicity stunt, but he's gonna take whoever the like who she said you said she's like a finance person, right? Who's like like because that's the whole thing. Sutter Kane supposedly owes them a book, and he's gone missing.
Yes,
And that's why they're bringing in an insurance investigator because it's like
he's-
about money and
he's an
Samuel's
insurance
good at finding
investigator.
people and digging stuff up. So they're gonna find they're
And
gonna look
she's
for
the
Sutter
editor.
Kane. She's the editor, okay.
She's
Which is why
she's Sutter
that's right,
Kane's
because she's one of the only people who's read the book. And that's why
Yes.
and that comes up later.
And
But
yeah, there's a reveal there, but
as soon as he gets the job, he's like having weird visions. He's having weird dreams, like almost immediately.
they're fun. I mean, that's a fun like fever dream using because he's also like if you look at his table, it's like, wow, he bought like every book he has, and they're
Yeah,
like
he has all the Sutter Kane books, which comes in handy in a minute. But no,
like
the
15 of them,
yeah.
and
But
he's at least sped read a few of them.
yeah.
So of
Right,
course
so he's like
dreaming
in the
about it.
horror headspace. You could understand why dude would be having some fucked up ideas. Plus, that's part of the thing you find out about Sutter Kane's writing is that it has an effect on people. A certain type of person can be very much affected by the writing of Sutter Kane. It pushes people over the edge.
I love worlds like this in movies too, where like the horror author or whatever, or like there's so many out there where like everyone's only talking about this one person and big thing. It's the only media around. It happens in TV and movies from time and time again. It's like this is all we care about. This is what's on TV.
There was a time when that could happen. It seems so far away now, but like
Yeah,
it does.
no, but
there was a
even-
time when like everybody was reading the same book. You know, the Amityville
Sure.
Horror came out, and it was like the biggest thing in the world. You know,
Okay, so yeah, I'm not saying it's far fetched, but like
yeah.
I actually think one of my favorite kids movies, kids horror does that very funnily too. Like the Goosebumps movies, how they're so like, you reading Goosebumps? I love Goosebumps. And it's like, dude,
Yeah.
it's 2010.
Everybody's
one's
still
reading
reading
Goosebumps?
Goosebumps. Everybody's still into it.
So go on, please.
No, he's having his dreams. You got to shout out again another like I would say pretty iconic where he comes across the cop beating the guy in the alley. You know, just normal cop stuff, and then later he sees it again, but the cop's got a a normal cop face.
Yeah, he's real.
What I see, I just see two. They're the same picture. You know?
I do have a question,
Mm.
and I might be wrong. This might be like first watch it. I swear, like, so the guy with the axe, his eye, what he notices, the eyes are
The
different,
double
right? They're
pupils,
like,
yeah.
yeah, the pupils are different. They're not just dilated; they're like deformed.
It's like two. It has like double pupil. It's like they're
Yeah,
separating, like a
I,
cell
s-
splitting.
I swear, no one's pupils looked that different. Looked that way for the rest of it. They looked like bloodshot and larger and like a little different, but that first one's was like so
Yeah,
unique.
I think by the end you see a few more of those, like
Okay,
when you're seeing
well,
like when he's in the
the
town
police
of when
officer
all the
has them.
towner like all the townspeople are there and they all look like total recall freaks, you know, they all look like
Mhm.
the mutants from Total Recall.
Yeah,
You might see some in there for sure.
it's definitely a sign of this entity, virus,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. Well,
But
yeah, that's the thing, and again, we can talk a little bit about this is kind of a Lovecraftian, you know,
oh,
horror
it's not
movie.
kind of it. It
It's
is. I mean,
fully a Lovecraftian.
the
It's about looking into the abyss and what looks back. I mean,
yeah,
literally
Cthulhu's on the
literally
cover
we
of.
get to the point where he does look like Jurgen Prochnow, who plays Sutter Kane, rips open the reality like a piece of paper. Sam Neill looks through
That
as
was cool.
she reads what is
Those-
essentially Lovecraft. Like, you know, so we definitely
It's
get there in this
it's
movie.
Lovecraftian, and
Yeah.
talking about actors who are in it, Vigo the Carpathian.
Oh, come on. I know it. So yeah, we can jump forward to as we already talked about. They do eventually get to Hobbs End, a fake town that's not supposed to exist. They find a map. He pieces together a map from these shapes on the cover. That's a fun little bit.
He's like, it
Um,
goes up through New England, and that's where I was like, oop, another King reference.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. I did like there's a really cool there's some fun stuff when they're on their way. That's where we get the first time we see the old guy on the bike and she
That
hits
was
the
a fun
guy on the bike
sequence.
and he's got the kid's voice coming out of him saying, I can't get out, I can't, he won't let me leave, you know? And then but I think the shot that gets me the most, that's the most kind of dreamlike, is she's driving, you know, it's like Lost Highway style, it's all dark, and then she looks out and she they're driving, like, over the storm clouds, and, like, you see, like, lightning and clouds underneath the car. I was like, "Oh, that's such a cool moment," you know? And then all of a sudden,
It's
she just, like, drives out of a bridge, and she's just basically in a little New England town, and
I,
I love she is totally shook. She's, like, freaked the fuck out, and
uh-huh.
Sam Neill, like, scullied the whole thing where he just, like, slept through the most amazing part, you know? If
Right.
if you watch the X-Files,
He
Scully was constantly getting, like, knocked out or locked in a room where
mhm.
she couldn't see what was gonna happen
And he
and stuff.
plays like you're not fully aware that he is that out of it. Like during some of the stuff with all that, it kind of made me think he's
Well,
around and just meh.
even the
And
stuff with the
she
old guy didn't shake him enough. Why wasn't he more shook from that?
she
Like,
goes, yeah, and he's like, what? All right, we're here.
yeah, he's just like, "Great, you made it. You found it. Good job." And she
But
is, like, shaking and gripping a steering wheel. Um, but yeah, so they get to the town and yeah, like you said, they kinda look around, it's like little Silent Hill vibes, you know, abandoned town. I liked the thing of, like, the group of kids running that just kind of, like, are in a loop almost, like, you know, it's almost like the Matrix, Deja Vu in the Matrix, where you kinda keep seeing 'em run this little sequence, you know?
it's like the bike getting there
Yeah,
too.
yeah, much like the bike guy. Um, they go up to the church, and yes, Vigo shows up for the first time. It's so great that John Carpenter was like, "I don't care that this guy barely speaks a lick of English. I am giving him at least 3 huge scenes in this movie,
He has a lot of screen time stuff. I truly did a double
and a
take
lot
up.
of dialogue to say in that
I'm like, is
voice."
that Vigo the Carpathian?
Oh, I cannot help myself from going, Johnny boy."
Johnny
Whenever I just
boy, Johnny
if I get
boy,
the chance to call somebody Johnny boy, that's exactly how I'm gonna say it every
Johnny
time
boy.
for sure. My Johnny boy, come to me, come on, Johnny boy. Um, yeah, they go to the church. Uh, I like to we first see Sutter Kane here, you know, Jurgen Prochnow. I would
Mhm.
be Harrison would crucify me if I didn't mention that Jurgen Prochnow played Duke Leo Atreides. in the 1984 David Lynch Dune, which Harrison loves. So
okay. I did not know Harrison loved that Dune.
it's he loves his Dune. He loves his old David Lynch Dune. But anyway,
Neat.
I love Jurgen Prochnow 6 dogs on him, right? I love actor dogs. Like, you can't train a dog to attack. So like, you can tell the guys who are getting bit are all padded up. They got the bite suits on, like, under their, under their clothes. But they get the shit bit out of them. So those dogs are really going to work. I bet those guys felt it through the suit.
I mean, you're still getting bit up by a dog at the end of the day.
Hell yeah, you are. And those dogs were riffing and shaking. That was good. Good actor dogs. Those were good boys.
Good boys. Good boys. The dogsters go too. Now, would that be a stunt dogster, or like an Oscar, but like a dogster, or would it be an actor dog, like leading actor dogster?
Yeah, I bet it's more like, I bet the ones for attacking are more specifically for that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
They wouldn't,
Stunt.
if you had a dog that you were gonna have be a lead dog in your dog
You're
movie,
gonna
you would
give
pick
it
a
to,
dog
you're gonna give it to like Precious from Silence of the Lambs over.
right. Yeah, you're not gonna do a big pack of Dobermans. These guys look badass though.
They did.
I miss Dobermans when they don't get the respect they deserve anymore. It's all about pit bulls now,
Everyone does love their pit bulls.
Yeah, except toddlers. Oh man. Anyway,
Not my pit
we need to talk real quick about the hotel they stay at, because the two things at the hotel, the painting and Frances Bay as the old lady who runs the hotel, are my favorite thing in the whole movie. They're
so
incredible.
fun. Speaking of the painting the way it is, it was like, I feel like recently inspired also by that, which would tie right in, is that Widow's Bay show has these like fucked up paintings of the New England towns and stuff. And I'm like,
I watched Widow's Bay. That was a lot of fun.
I'm seeing this, I'm going, oh, yeah, okay. Direct line. I mean, I guess Hokum just had the same thing though with the painting in the hotel.
Yeah.
So not the most unique, but dude, yes,
But
Frances
it's
Bay.
so fun, like the different changes it goes through as you see it all the times, up until it's its final form. And then, like I said, Frances Bay playing basically the type of character she always played, and then leading into eventually she becomes the Thing. She's gonna get to the point where she's the Thing.
Yeah. And then on the side, we just have her being Happy Gilmore's grandma.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. She starts out fully Happy Gilmore's grandma.
Well, then you see, I love the makeup of just like red, red, like sunken.
Everybody in
sockets.
town looks a little bit like shit. And also, that's the thing that started even before. Like, everybody who was like really into Sutter Kane looks like they're like deteriorating. They got like sores on their face, and they're pale and sweaty, and and like it's like literally these books take their toll on you.
Do you think like, oh God, John Carpenter, right? Back to John Carpenter. Do you think he's doing this movie because he likes its messaging about like, which rings true today, but like celebrity culture and auteur ownership and like,
and like the cult of celebrity and like kind of like,
because like They Live is a big comment on capitalism and Reagan era capitalism at that. This at the same time, like, I mean,
and we're about 10 years later, he could be, he wants to do something more about like pop culture and art and its effect on, and pop art even, and like the kind of like mass consumerism of that. And,
like, think about it. Like, you made that, there's a whole line of like, I guess Sutter Kane is God, this is an authar, like God.
He literally says, I am God at one point in this movie. He's, I am now God.
And like, because we simultaneously are and are not in the like Stranger Than Fiction Will Ferrell movie scenario, where it's like, no, I'm running around in the book that's being written.
Yeah, like I said, a never-ending story. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
where you like half realize as you're reading that you're the main character of the book.
But I think like, for like I say, Carpenter and this, and the fact that he's like his unofficial Apocalypse series, which all seemingly he made with importance and not just like one of the John Carpenter check movies.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think there's the commentary of just like, yeah, maybe we shouldn't like worship at the
Well, and this
altar of
is 20
everything.
years, this is almost 20 years removed from his original big hits and stuff. So he's probably got thoughts on the nature of art and the life it takes on beyond your creation and stuff like
Well,
that too.
that's
And he's putting some of that into this as well.
one of his contemporaries is Wes Craven, and I mean that's why Wes Craven goes and makes New Nightmare. It's not because he has a great idea for Freddy Krueger. It's like I'm
He wants to
seeing
talk
kid,
about his
I'm seeing
creation. Yeah.
yeah, or then go Scream more so. It's like I'm seeing kids worship or like be affected in watch and cheer on these like murderers and monsters and the effects of it and news stories, and it's like, oh, maybe television does have an effect on, at that time, right? Like maybe this does have an effect on the world.
This is such
I
a
think
smart podcast. I can't believe more people don't listen to us.
I think Wes Craven, I don't know, sorry, Wes Craven, it was John
We have
Carpenter,
ideas.
yeah, is saying a similar thing.
Yeah, I agree, and that's not a thought I had, but I think you're 100% right, and I think the more we pick at it, the more, like, obvious it seems, so
I
I think
try
you're
to
dead
like
on.
I try to like think of it like something like this, especially when you have these like I don't even think John Carpenter would like us saying like in our tour, but like these like great filmmakers and stuff
Yeah, he's an auteur for sure.
is when shit's surreal and weird, lack of a better word, there's probably more reason why it's surreal and weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
The only time I call bullshit on it, mostly in the hard horror space, is when they're like, they are just straightforward slashers and like people in our community and everything go, no, it's more important than that. It's like this big political statement or always has been.
Yeah.
That's when I go, ooh, we could read into it there, but I don't know if that was their intent.
Right, yeah, exactly, yeah, intent's different, but I like,
The
John
intent is
Carpenter's
here.
not a but John Carpenter makes choices for a reason, you know what I mean? I don't
That's
he's a filmmaker who, when he's making his own movies like this, he makes his own choices for a
like
reason,
the
so
intent.
I don't think there's a chance that it's not intentional.
Yeah, the intent is different than the like, you know, how people feel. Anyway, back to the plot.
Yeah, they first see Sutter Kane, they get chased away from his church sanctum where he's hanging out by the dogs. They get back to the hotel and Styles, Linda. I kept writing down Linda because I looked at her name on the thing, but he calls her Styles. So I went back and changed it to Styles in my notes because
Styles,
that's what
okay.
Sam Neill calls her. He calls her Styles.
Well, he's also like
Um,
flirty. His accent
yeah,
changes
that's
quickly.
that's
too.
another thing. One of the times I realized he was just being a little bit sleazy, but then at the same time I was like, but you got to remember this is the '90s. This might have just been seen as charming, actually. Like I think he's being a little sleazy, but the movie might not. So again, intent. Because he gets a
Yeah,
little before they go on their trip when they're like after their first meeting when she's kind of like trying to convince him, he gets a little like, well, maybe you could, you coming along with me is worth
no,
it,
I
kind
think
of,
he's a
like
flirt. I
yeah,
think he's a
yeah.
flirt.
But like I said,
I
I think it
think it's a little
reads
sleazy.
sleazier in 2026 than it did in 1994.
I think it's a little sleazy. I think, like I said, back to like my first thoughts of like immediately, it was like, oh, I know what I'm watching. It's a Crypt episode or a Crypt
Sure.
movie. It could easily be a Crypt movie, but I think you take the twist we're about to get to with Styles.
Yeah.
I think that you would just put that twist and those words onto Sam Neill or onto
Yeah.
him being like, actually, these were my motives the whole time. And like,
Yeah.
because what it's about to happen is they're in there and the things we get you goes, listen, this was a stunt. This was a hoax. We wanted to make publicity for the book. He just never showed. He disappeared. He was
Right.
supposed to
He was
disappear.
supposed to kind of like go into hiding, but then he like literally broke off contact with us. And
Mhm.
also, all this shit about there being a real Hobbs End is not part of it. Like we didn't produce this. We basically just kind of like we're doing something that would be a story, a written somebody would write about, not like a whole fucking fake town. Like this is not. We're not like this is the book coming to life. But also like it's funny that this is the time we're supposed to believe her, but this is also the time where she starts to crack. And like we start to see that she's not
She's
herself
turning.
either.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's turning.
and like we find out, I think we find out here in this same scene, which is that she's one of the only people who read the book. So
Mhm.
like the effect that we're gonna find out the book has on basically everyone, it's already having it on her.
Yeah,
and we just didn't know it yet.
Yeah. Can I? Oh God, I know we're going to return. I do want to talk about parallels to other movies. I'm like, oh my God, they took a top scary moment from a child's movie and just did it here.
Which one is that? Oh,
Oh,
you talking about the spider walk?
yep. But they
Yeah.
taking it from freaking Return to Oz.
Yeah.
And other than that, and then just using the Thing makeup with her head.
I think that her spider walk. I think her spider walk in this is scarier than the Exorcist spider walk.
I think her spider walk is scary, but I think the one in Return to Oz is even scarier with those. Have you've seen that one, right? Like,
yeah, are you talking about the guys on the wheels? Those guys, or wait?
Yeah, but they spider walk on the wheels.
Yeah.
They're upside down, and their heads are that way. Her spider walk's creepy as shit. And the Exorcist, it's creepy because you're not expecting her to walk down the stairs.
Yeah, it's actually the kind of slowness and the sound design of the cracking and squelching as she kind of turns and flips over and stuff. Like, it's pretty easy. You know, obviously, it's just a person moving mostly normally with an upside down head, but it's really good. It really is effective. Yeah, it's really effective. And you again, parallels, we keep doing it. It has a similar vibe to the reveal in Halloween 3 when they're in the car driving away and she find out she's an android.
I wouldn't be stunned if he took inspiration from that failed movie.
Yeah.
Because that was one he was still trying to work on Halloween stuff with.
We did skip over
yeah, I skipped right to it just because I was.
It's okay. No, it's fine. But I did want to talk about because after the kind of reveal, she snatches the keys and he's trying to leave and she snatches the keys and takes off, but she goes back to the church by herself. She gets confronted by some garbage pail kids out front, and then she goes in to actually meet and talk to Sutter Kane for the first time.
And that performance by Jurgen is fun as shit.
Oh yeah, he's just having a great time. Like, Jurgen Prochnow's having a blast. It's like I said, he's doing a lot of weird pontificating and just being but the real reveal is the Malignant. You know, I was like, I wrote right here, I was like, oh, Sutter Kane over Malignant. Like that with the reveal when she goes to make out and the fucking little freak thing on the back of his head's all like, it's not just a little face, it's like a whole ass goblin hanging out back there.
It's the chess monster and true.
It's got all of it. It's got the whole deal. It's great. I love that.
It's fun. I mean,
I love that he forces her to look at the book like it's the Ark of the Covenant. He shoves her head down in the light. It's like, and you get those great flashes. I wanted to ask you in that sequence if you had a favorite image that flashed across the screen, because to me it was her and the old bike person in a synchronized dance, but it turned out later I found out that that's them. It's her on the back of his bike. But the way it flashed in her, because it was just like an image, and it literally looked like they were dancing together in a synchronized dance. It was so good.
The Big Lebowski type of dance.
You're right, exactly. I was like, "Whoa, what was that?"
Do you know what? I didn't note it. It honestly flashed so I didn't note it.
But there's a lot of good little scary kind of again, he's just doing,
there's creepy images in it.
Yeah, he's just doing
dude.
great.
It's
not just scary, but unsettling. You know what I mean? It's a
movie where I don't know. It just feels like oh God, it's such a corny thing to say. They were cooking. It was a clear rhythm to having fun with this movie of what they were making, which wasn't always happening.
Yeah, I agree. Well, and it's one of those movies where it wants you to feel like reality around you while you watch the movie is unraveling. And they do I think they do a good job with it too. You know what I mean? They
yeah. There's such different movies when I ask this. They really are different movies. This is, whimsy is the wrong word, but this is has an air to it. It has its Jacob Ladder-esque of what's going on, what's this, but that's
definitely, absolutely. Because
that one's just
unlike
a bummer.
there's movies where you know everything and the protagonist doesn't. And then there's movies where you and the protagonist don't know shit and you're in it together. And this is more like that. You know,
We're in it together.
we are Sam Neill. We're not watching. We're in it with him.
Yeah. And I think that's it's ending. I'm not getting to I'm not rushing us to the ending, but
No.
that's why
we can't rush the ending because now, like, after she is like making out with malignant Sutter Kane, and we go back to Sam Neill trapped at the hotel. This is where we get the final form of the painting, which is great. It's like a couple of Cthulhu monsters now in the. It had been like these beautiful lovers by the pond, and now it's like a couple of Cthulhu monsters in the shadow of the church. You know, the church is now part of the painting, and then we get to see Frances Bay's final form, which is so good. So great.
Don't make them. They don't make them like
although
that.
I do like the part where she's behind the counter having a conversation with him, and it's revealed that she's got her husband on the floor with an axe buried in him, like naked with an axe buried in him. Yeah, I love that.
Chained to her
chained to her ankle. Yeah. So good. Incredible stuff.
And I think that's where I like
seeing Happy's grandma in that state. You're just like, oh my goodness.
That's where I come back to. I'm like, oh, crypt vibes.
Oh, very much so. Yeah.
Oh, like let's throw a little weirdness in here
because it's not just because it's scary, but it's also a little funny. You know, it's also a little. And that's very Tales from the Crypt.
We were speaking about obsession before we start recording, which we will talk at a later date. And that's the one note anyone asked when they said, "Oh, would I like it or this?" And every time I would say, "Yes, but no," or like, "Yes, but it is like if you want to laugh, there's moments that are funny, clearly meant to be like uncomfortable laughter and fun."
Yeah.
I'll pause on that like thoughtfully here, but I always thought it was good to give people that heads up because I was like on the reverse end, some people going, "I don't know, it was hysterical." I'm like, no. You were supposed to laugh in that era, in that section of how weird it got. Tales from the Crypt.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's obvious jokes in this. I would say the thing later where did you know my favorite color is blue is like a great gag. That's like such a fun moment in this movie. But yeah, so he has like basically a confrontation with Frances Bay. I love that he goes upstairs to find Styles and he sees the tentacles under the door, you know, all like, and then the door opens and she's just trying to act all normal. It's like, honey, we saw the tentacles.
Styles, my girl, we're not getting out of here. And now she's trying to kiss him at every opportunity to be like,
oh yeah,
my sex appeal will overpower you. And like, Sam Neill just has no interest of any of that anymore, other than a little bit of the make out.
He's just all focused on getting out of town. But honestly, in his more honorably than you might suspect, he wants to get her out of there. He's not trying to leave her behind, despite the fact that she's acting crazy. He's still trying to take her with.
He's thinking, oh, it's the town's effect. If I get her out of the town, this will go away.
Right. Yeah.
Not realizing
and we do get another we do basically get another Lost Highway sequence of them trying to escape, and that's where, you know, he gets out and we have the spider walk, and that's, you know, we already talked about that a little bit. That's so great. Also, we did skip over his last meeting with Vigo. You know, he keeps popping in and having little chats with Vigo. This one's definitely going to be his last one though, because Vigo eats a double barrel shotgun at the end of the scene. So, but honestly, it did not affect his ability to speak.
Oh God, he sounds about the same.
Johnny boy.
Sounds about the same.
He does say something about his little, like, Johnny's little sister bit a hole in his face. He's got like missing like a big chunk out of his cheek and shit. He's like, my 5-year-old did this to me.
Oh, it's fun.
Yeah, I love it. But anyway, shout out to John Carpenter for choosing to give that guy speaking lines. Amazing stuff.
It reminds me of the story of Sylvester Stallone showed up on the Masters of the Universe set because he was buddies with Dolph Lundgren.
Yeah.
And apparently he turned to like Mendham and Golem were the the Canon film producers, and I think they were directing that too. And he was like, you gave him lines? They're like, yeah, what's the, they were like two heavily spoken Israeli guys, and they were like,
Sure.
yeah, and he was like, all right, good luck.
And he was right. After the attempt to escape, he's in that cycle. He can't get out of the town. He eventually crashes his car, and then he wakes up locked in a confessional booth with Sutter Kane on the other side of it, and like he finally gets his first conversation with Sutter Kane, where Sutter Kane's like, "Yeah, man, you're in the book, dude. It's a never-ending story situation."
And I do love the visual scene though of like ripping through and seeing the book pages on the.
Oh, that's
like,
a great effect when he like backs up to the wall and kind of turns to paper and then tears himself open and reveals like the void. It's really cool.
I was like looking because there's a close up of his face, and I couldn't help but just like look at the set of it. I'm like, that's so cool. It must have been so interesting to put together of like, here's a giant printed page, but it needs to look like you ripped it and put it through. Like, that's so neat.
Also, we get Sam Neill in a freaky hallway, which we love, which is going to be an Event Horizon in a few years, and we'd love to see Sam Neill in a freaky hallway.
Event Horizon is such a sneaky horror movie.
It's a real, and I didn't realize it's such a kind of divisive one. Like I always thought it was kind of universally enjoyed by most people.
Yeah, I did too.
I think there's a pretty good contingent of people who think it's kind of bad and it's kind of schlocky.
But I think because I think it's that like probably the people that thought they were going in for I'm in for a space adventure, and then I was like, oh no, I'm not.
Well, and also like I mean, especially when you look back at the collected works of Paul W.S. Anderson, what he's done, what he did and has done, it's honestly probably his best movie, but it also fits very neatly into his canon. It's not like an outsider film. It's pretty well in his wheelhouse.
Yeah, we could save that conversation.
Yeah, we'll do an episode on Event Horizon. Absolutely, that's a great. I love it. I'll be standing up for it.
But yeah, I want that one as well.
This is where we're finally getting into our our kind of finale. We get our like unspeakable horrors moment, like we talked about when he rips open the void, and as Sam Neill is kind of looking, she's reading out of Sutter Kane's new book, but it's essentially Lovecraft. You look back, he looked into the void, he looks so back, eventually you see something writhing coming back towards it. It's basically your attention draws it in, and then we get a cool kind of mix of Thing/Cthulhu monsters chasing them down the hallway. That's a great, if you watch the behind the scenes stuff on the practical effects for all that, it's really cool.
I'd like to. I wish I had
a lot
time
of fun
to do that.
It's got there's a nice I have the Shout Factory in the Mouth of Madness Blu-ray, and it's a nice
that's the one I'm gonna buy. I was looking at it today, and there's like a non-Shout Factory one that's $10, but the Shout Factory one's like $17. It's like,
to me, it's like it's always about the features. Like if it's got worthwhile special features, it's worth the extra money to me.
This is, I think, where we not disagree on it, but
no,
it's not about the features.
You are less concerned with the features.
I'm less concerned with the features, but also I'll look into like the Shout Factory one's probably a restored print comparatively to the cheap Blu-ray one is just copied and put on for the most part.
Just a digital copy of whatever they had on
so that's where I'll find it. It depends on the movie, right? Like like I bought Sorcerer because like I just the Blu-ray because it was hard to find, and I was like, great, I got it.
I had that Blu-ray for a long time too, and then they released the Criterion
kind of rough.
It's not it's a tough one.
And that's one where I'm not holding out, but I'm like waiting for the right time of Criterion to go like, okay, I will upgrade to its Blu-ray or 4K at a minimum because I know it's restored.
Yeah. And for me, I had that same Blu-ray, but to me it was more like this is a bare bones Blu-ray with just the movie. Now a Criterion collection that's going to have like retrospectives and features and
that's nice
information about the production, and I love all that shit.
And that's nice too.
I actually have been getting, and I've been making a concerted effort, like on nights when I am not by myself, if Sarah falls asleep early or something, to try to watch my special features on when I get because I've gotten some Criterions recently, and
Yeah.
it's like
I
I was
try.
watching the special
I
features on Blood Simple. I'm watching the special features on Miller's Crossing and Polyester, and I'm just like, I was burning through interviews. But I
I
will say
watch.
this: if I open up your like behind the scenes feature and it's like a full hour, it's gonna have to be something pretty special to keep me on that long. Like
You know
you
what's
need to
the
keep
best
those
one?
25, 30. They are some of the, well, it just, like I said, it depends. If it's just a conversation with the filmmakers and it's some kind of like, but if it's a real produced video,
You know what has the best one?
Hmm?
And they're long. There's like several of them on one thing. The Prometheus 3D Blu-ray that
Oh
I
yeah.
have. It's like 4 discs or something.
Well, that's
Its
awesome.
special features are insane on it. It's awesome.
I believe it.
It's almost a full documentary you get on one of the discs.
Well, the Alien box set, the quadrilogy one that they released, in the early 2000s,
Oh
that
yeah.
like folds out. It's got every movie has its own full disc of special features. They got so much shit on those.
They retired them. It's crazy to think, just a side physical media tangent.
Yeah,
It's
we're allowed
crazy
to do it.
think that so I have all my Simpsons comment Blu-rays, or not Blu-rays, DVDs. Every episode had to have a commentary track, and then like a few episodes in each would have additional like cut panels. But it's like think about it. I'm like, there's 22 episodes. They recorded a commentary for each one, and that's why that shit unfortunately stopped at a certain point, because it was just like, no, if we're gonna do it, it needs to be done to the nines. Yeah, I do look for special features. There's things though now where out of principle I bought, and then I'm like, I don't feel like rebuying it to get the special features.
That's
Like
fair. Well, I think it
like I
just has
think
to hit everybody's got a personal threshold. Like
Evil
some
Dead.
movies are you find worth it, and some movies you don't.
I would love special features on Evil Dead Rise.
Sure.
And they came out with their 4K when they put it in. I bought it immediately. Has nothing on it, and I'm pretty sure that's one of those movies where they were like, "Oh, we released it again on a blah blah blah," and we loaded it with a couple things. And you're like, "Fuck off!" The
Yeah, that's
weirdest,
bullshit, man. Too
the
bad.
weirdest. You've heard me yell about this before. The weirdest one of all time, and it looks terrible on my shelf, is the unrated Midsummer.
That weird like special release.
And it's the only way you can get that unrated, or at the time, unrated version. So I was like, all right, whatever. I was convinced to buy it. I already had the Blu-ray.
Yeah.
The Blu-ray had special features, just like a couple interviews, maybe a commentary. I don't remember.
Yeah.
The A24 produced book, which is really cool, but it's just the disc, which almost broke the disc to get out of it.
I hate those.
I shaved it off a little. No, it wasn't a slide. It was a pop, but the pop was so tight. I actually shaved the little just so I could. Anyway, $50. The movie just plays. There's not even a goddamn.
Not even a menu. Damn, that's fucked up.
I was like, "Are you kidding me?" As you know, as lifelong physical media class, I'm like, A24, get your shit together. And now
this is Bush League, man.
And now they have, I have a few of them, but now they have that goofy ass fucking ugly barcode design on the side of their slips.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about. The colored one, like the colored barcode kind of looking thing.
Nice packaging, but they put the big barcode on the side so you could tell it's an A24, because I guess someone told them that's a good style. Hate it.
Yeah, that sucks.
I have a few of their movies like that. Anyway,
let's see. We're getting pretty close to wrapping it up.
Yeah.
It's funny. There's a lot of times where like Sam Neill's like in a situation where it's like, oh man, he's about to die, and then he just like wakes up somewhere else. You know what I mean? It's just like he's getting chased by the monster, the unknowable horrors. Oh, now he's just back at the crossroads, and there's Paperboy Anakin Skywalker.
Crazy. What a
know,
but filmed in Canada.
Filmed in Canada, exactly. Canadian. That's why he's in Goosebumps too.
And Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Are You Afraid of the Dark? Yeah, absolutely.
You will not.
Working man.
The odds of a kid in Canada, the odds of an adult Canadian actor being in one of those two shows are so high.
Oh hell yeah. So Sam Neill's basically like he's kind of back in the normal world, but things still feel fucked up. He still doesn't,
He's feel off.
he like he it's too like what happened to the experience fucked him up too much. He cannot believe what's going on. Um and then that's where we get that great scene with where Jurgen pops up, where Sutter Kane pops up on the bus because he thinks he's basically like getting out of it. He's back in the real world,
Mhm.
and Sutter Kane's like, "No, I'm God now.
Yeah.
Like I control everything." And then that's when he has that. By the way, did you know my favorite color is blue? And he wakes up and everything's blue. That's such a great moment. Sam Neill's face in that scream that he gives when everything's blue, the kind of like, just he like really lets it rip.
He's oh god, he's such I wish we came prepared with other Scream Kings other than Kyle Gardner because, like, I'm like,
It's
Sam Neill at the
hard.
top
There's
of the
not a
list.
lot that like the people who we would qualify as Scream Kings are like horror movie guys, like Kane Hodder or something. You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
like
I
I'm
don't
talking
count
about,
that.
but I mean like real actors who have like multiple big horror hits under their belt.
Low
You know?
key, I guess George C. Scott became one.
Yeah, yeah. In his later years,
Later
Changeling,
you
Firestarter,
Firestarter, Exorcist 3.
Exorcist 3. Yeah,
Um, but like I'm saying, like, that's the closest on the level of your Sam Neil's.
yeah. I mean, I would need more. I would need more time. I'm sure we could come up with a couple, but like, I definitely someone who was acting at that level who still had that many kind of big horror hits under his belt is pretty rare. Um,
Yeah.
he gets back, he tries to get Charlton Heston to cancel the book, but come to find out, the book's been out. The book was out like before he sent it. Like for some reason, Sam Neill didn't
There's a
realize. They tell him that the book's been
no.
like there's obviously like a but like now we've flipped because also it's a reality flip because Charlton Heston now says that Styles basically didn't exist, that he never sent anyone with you, that you went off by
Yeah,
yourself to do this. And then again, we find out that the book's been out and that it's caused a wave of schizophrenia. I love the idea that like a wave of schizophrenia
but
goes.
I think his,
People
like
just go crazy.
but, like, I think that's just part of it just being rewritten that way for him, right?
Well, right, it's
Like,
Sutter Kane just fucking with him. It's like he and I love the cover of In the Mouth of Madness with the like stylized version of Sam Neill on it is
yeah,
so good. So
because
good.
the one thing you keep seeing in the beginning before the poster of In the Mouth of Madness
Yeah.
and cover is everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. For the book, not this
Yeah.
now a movie, the big
Now
reveal.
now gonna
It's
be a
gonna be a
movie.
movie.
And I also, like now that it's gonna be a movie, this has fully pushed Sam over the edge, and he is now basically the Axeman from the beginning of the movie. He's like in the same trench coat, he's the same level of haggard in his face. Um, Only instead of worshiping Sutter Kane, he's looking to kill Sutter Kane fans. Like he's gone the other way.
Oh,
And
he
that's
goes
basically
right
what
after that
lands
guy.
him. That's basically what lands him in the asylum, and that gets us back around to the beginning of the movie. We see him wrapping up with David Warner, who's
And
like,
he's just
"Okay,
like
well, this was." He's like essentially like, "Well, that was useless. You're crazy."
yeah. And he does say, he's like, "Well, can hang out. That's all. I'm perfect here. I'm good
Yeah,
here. I
that's what
just
he
wanted
says. Like,
my
no, you don't need a light. He's like, I'm much safer. I'm much safer here, and is immediately proven right as like a full on rampage happens like outside his door. And then I love
everyone."
the he comes out and it's just like decimated. It's the beginning of 28 days later, but with more monster blood scratches on the walls, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, and goes right to
Um
the theater.
I love that he goes right in and he sits down. And unfortunately, I kind of wanted it to be like legitimately the movie, but it's mostly seems like just like clips and fragments. Like,
Yeah, it's
um,
what we've just kinda watched of like, wow,
but
they made this whole thing was the movie.
yeah. And then the movie ends with with his maniacal laugh.
Yeah, that's what's
And
I don't like
it's so I wrote a thing here about how like I think John Carpenter in his real life is a bit of a cynic. We talked about him being a bit of a curmudgeon, and I think it's funny that I think there's a part of him that wants to be a believer, and like I think that's why, even though it makes him insane, he makes Sam Neill from a cynic to a believer. It ruins him.
Well,
It fucks it breaks his brain, but that is part of this movie, you know.
And it's part of like, yeah, he's a believer. He's just while I'm watching the movie, I was like, just enjoying it,
It's
accepting
just
his fate.
it's full on acceptance. Yeah, exactly. At that point, he's
And-
like he's given himself over to it.
Yeah, and I think the movie, like, I earlier said kind of like a Jacob's Ladder scenario, but at the same time, it's like I walk away not feeling like a bummer of this movie. I don't feel like oof. All right. It's
Yeah,
just
it's
more of
weird.
like, what
It
a fun
is
ride.
literally a man watching his own destruction on the screen for entertainment, but he ends it laughing. He's having a good time, you know?
I think John Carpenter wrote a little eulogy on his Instagram for Sam Neill and like ended
did
it
he?
with, let me see if I can find it real quick. He ends it with a great John Carpenter. He ends it very like, has to be his most recent post. It's the mouth of madness film, heartbreaking. But the last line is, keep laughing at the madness of it all for us, wherever you are.
There you go.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, like I said, I was really surprised how hard it hit, and I think it's because I had felt some relief hearing that he was doing better, and then like to have it spin around and hit and be like, nope, never mind, you know, that sucked. But I'm really glad we got a chance to talk about this. It's really cool that you had not seen it and that you got a chance to like first time it. That's great.
Yeah, this was great.
But yeah, we'll
Generally.
definitely come back, and we won't wait too long. We'll get back and do an Event Horizon episode because I like that movie a lot too.
Yeah, let's
A lot of fun.
maybe like a two or three episodes.
Yeah,
I
we'll
feel
get
like
it on
it's
the
good.
docket down the line. Maybe we'll get a guest on or something. Maybe we'll get Matt
That
back or something
sounds-
for that one.
That sounds wonderful, man. But no, great pick.
No, and I appreciate, we were on the same page. You, as soon as I mentioned changing up, you were like, hell yeah, absolutely, let's do it.
Yeah. Generally, I think for us, as long as we didn't watch it that day
Yeah,
and we got time, we could always change.
yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
All right.
But this was a good one. And R.I.P. Sam Neill. You're a real one, brother.
A legend.
Absolutely, icon.
Yes. All right. Well, as always, stay frightful. Bye.